So, in the year 2025, John Cena embarked on an epic retirement tour. It saw some ups, it saw some downs, and it saw everything in between. Over the course of this year, he would appear at 36 WWE events all around the world, and he would wrestle in 18 matches. And it's those 18 matches that we're going to look at today as we rank them from best to worst on the tier list. Now, for those of you who don't know what a tier list is, they're all over YouTube in particular and the internet, and basically we go from the top level, which is S. That means this thing was amazing. It was, the dog's bollocks, kind of so to speak, and then we work our way down what used to be the grading system over here in the United Kingdom, but A, B, C, D, E, and F being the worst. So I've got the list here of all the matches that John Cena had this year, and we're going to go in order. I think that's only fair. So John Cena kicked off the year match-wise. He followed it off with a promo on the Netflix premiere where he announced he would be in this match, and that, of course, was the Royal Rumble match. Now, this is a difficult one to grade because I think you have to kind of look not just at his performance, but at the kind of whole Rumble itself, and kind of with the post knowledge that we have, where we are at now. So I think that this year's Men's Rumble had a lot of excitement to it. I think that there was a lot of potential winners for it, and I do think that, I'll be honest with you, you've probably seen me with the Yeet t-shirt on here. I think they actually got it right. I think that Jey Uso needed to win the Rumble, and this was a good way and a good kind of indication that Cena was going to be kind of going out, the right way. It's hard though, because there's a lot of the Rumble that I didn't like, and for that reason, I think I'm only going to put it. I think I'll put it in B. I think Cena did put someone over it. There's a very, very good end sequence to it. So yeah, I will put it in B. Then we go to the Chamber. Now, this is important to note that I'm only going to be grading the match here. So the Elimination Chamber match, which took place, which saw 6 of the top stars in WWE go at it. And now I thought this was very, very good. I think, obviously, at the time, it maybe felt that we was only going to get John Cena and Punk as part of the Chamber. And so having them end the Chamber was absolutely perfect. And definitely having John Cena win this as a babyface was the correct decision. So, do you know what? I'm actually going to put this quite high. I'm going to put this in A. We then go to WrestleMania. And the reason why I've got this whole list out of the appearances is because he essentially had 1, 2, 3, 4 back-to-back segments of promos, some of them which featured Cody Rhodes, some which didn't, and they all just kind of amounted to nothing. I think there was a very good one on the go-home show to WrestleMania. I thought that was very, very good. But look, we get to the match itself, and look, I think the difficulty here was that we hadn't really seen what Cena could do, because you have to imagine the Rumble was a Rumble, there's other people, he came up quite late into it, and you don't get to do much in a Rumble match. And the Chamber also, he got the go-home stretch of the Chamber and did quite well, kind of rehashing his old hits. It was good having him with Punk in there. And then we get to WrestleMania, where this was going to be, or meant to be, his kind of big match. And we get to the fact that it was overshadowed by the angle, which we talked about to death on this channel, and I guess several other channels have done too, but the universally panned heel turn that went down at Chamber, which then led into the finish of the WrestleMania main event, which in my opinion is still the worst on record. I think the match before that was okay, but in years to come, it's only ever going to be defined by those last kind of 5 minutes or so of Travis Scott slowly crawling to the ring to do a distraction. And there's a lot of talk about this by both men, and it just seemed that no one wanted this really, but what we got, this is going in F. I'm so sorry, but it's going in F. Then we go to Backlash, following 3 promos and segments with Randy Orton, back to back. I think that the Backlash match was very good. But yeah, this is good stuff from them. Like, they've had better, of course they have. Like, it's John Cena and Randy Orton, for God's sake. But I think this is an easy kind of, B tier, maybe A. I think I might put it A. I'm putting it A tier. I think, just for the nostalgia and everything, I think I'll put it in A tier. We then go to Saturday Night's main event, where John Cena faced R-Truth, John Cena, Ron Killings, but everyone according. Now look, this was a fun match. I like Truth. I think everyone likes Truth. And it came at a time when obviously Truth had been legitimately fired from the company, and had alluded to doing something quite interesting, which sadly didn't go down that way. This was an okay match. It was very much like a TV match though, and there wasn't as much build to it as I would have liked. But you know what? Just because it's no harm, no foul. I'll put it in C tier. So we then get to Money in the Bank, which was a tag team contest as John Cena, as the villain, teamed up with Logan Paul to take on the babyface team of Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, who were the current WWE and World Heavyweight Champions respectively, going in. And now, very interestingly, this is to note that Jey Uso never had a singles PLE match for his championship. He obviously only had this appearance on PLE. He defended it on the Saturday Night's main event, the same one that Cena faced R-Truth against Logan Paul, but they don't really seem to count those as PLEs. So yeah, there we go. So this tag match was fine. It was interesting seeing John Cena team with Logan Paul. Obviously, with the knowledge of what's come afterwards, the fact that Travis Scott was meant to be in this match and both the Usos were meant to maybe reunite a bit earlier, that's also quite interesting. But I'm not a fan of these kind of these random tag matches, main event and PLEs. It's not the 1980s anymore. It felt very, very weird. And it did also feel like a match that nothing really happened in. So I'm only going to put this in, it's a low B, or is it a high C? Only because it furthered the feud with Cody, I guess, and kind of did allude to what we'd get with Logan Paul. I'll put it in B, but it is a low B. It's a low B from me. We then get to his first television match, which was a rematch against R-Truth Ron Killings. Now, this one didn't really go anywhere because it led to the John Cena pipe bomb as they kind of were getting into the John Cena vs CM Punk, say, feud. Like, it's really quite odd, all this. But yeah, they had the John Cena and CM Punk feud that, basically was one segment, and that was it. But we had the pipe bomb from John Cena, which if I was grading the pipe bomb from John Cena, I'd be grading this much higher. As you obviously mentioned, people from outside the company, he alluded to management and everything else, but I can only grade it on the match that went down between the ropes, and it was a very short match. It ended in a weird way, and I think I can't grade it, just like I can't grade much of SmackDown this year, above D. I guess the crowd were hot for it. Let's keep it in D. Now we get to Night Champion, Saudi Arabia, and obviously a lot of controversy regarding CM Punk and all that kind of stuff, how he entered opted back into doing the Saudi shows. But the match itself, so this was, at that point, I think it was probably Cena's kind of best in-ring performance. He was also able to do this without kind of any outside distractions or anything like that, because WrestleMania was tainted by Travis Scott. We then had the Ron Killings thing take place at Backlash with Randy Orton, and then there was a tag match, obviously, at Money in the Bank. So I think this was good. This was solid. This ticked a lot of boxes for me and for a lot of the fans. And so I'm going to put it, B or A. Am I being too nice? I'll put it in A. It was a very good match. Then we get to the rematch at SummerSlam. This came after the face turn, okay? So, for whatever reason, Cena went away for a few weeks following the match with CM Punk, and then he comes back and he did a segment and a babyface turn with Cody Rhodes, which I thought was actually done really, really well. And I think it actually made the rematch much more interesting. But anyway, we get to the point where, he lost the title to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam in a decent match, much better than the WrestleMania match. But for me, the title change did help it, but I'm going to put it as a B. It wasn't as good as him versus Punk the month prior. So we then get to a match that I kind of forgot had happened, and that being a tag team match on SmackDown. And John Cena teamed with Cody Rhodes to face Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. And this was obviously in the aftermath of at SummerSlam, and it was used to be setting up John Cena's next match, and obviously Cody's next match actually against Drew, and John Cena faced Logan Paul next. This was kind of nothing more than an advert, and was just done because it was the last time they were going to be in, I think, Montreal. It had decent stuff, but it did end in like a no contest kind of DQ kind of thing. So I'm only really going to be able to put this in C. It was a hot crowd for it, as obviously it was Cena's first match as a babyface on television, since he started the tour. So I think, yeah, I'm going to put it as a C, as it was just a generic kind of SmackDown main event that we've been getting time and time again, but just done with obviously the biggest star in the company at the time. We then get to John Cena taking on Logan Paul at Clash in Paris. Now, this may hurt a lot of people to hear this, but this was Cena's best match of the entire year. Like absolutely. It was a fantastic match. Logan Paul is someone who can push people to doing their best in ring work. And I also think that he's someone that, love him, hate him, he's someone that he elicits a reaction just by being what he is. And that's very rare now in modern wrestling, that we're not kind of spoon-fed or forced something. And Logan Paul is that kind of true self. And yeah, this was an excellent match. Don't care what anyone says, it's an excellent match. It was John Cena's best match of the year. And so I think it's an immediate S tier for that match. We then get to John Cena vs Sami Zayn on SmackDown. I think that was that a week afterwards? Yeah, so they had that weird thing, didn't they, where Brock Lesnar returned at SummerSlam because he wanted that big moment, but then because John Cena had other feuds going on, they kind of paused it, basically paused that feud, and then they restarted it essentially, on that SmackDown. So John Cena answered the US Open Challenge to Sami Zayn, and they had a fantastic match up until the point where Brock Lesnar decided to come out and attack both men. So it's very hard for me to rank matches where they have DQs, and we've had a few of them already on this list, but I think this was actually very, very good. I'm going to give it a B, because I don't think really you can put anything above that if it ended in like a weird way, but because they did have a long match kind of leading up to it, I think, yeah, I'm going to put it into a B. We then get to WrestlePalooza, possibly the worst WWE event of the year. It was meant to be this big kind of bells and whistles thing, and ended up being a bit like a wet fart. And John Cena faced Brock Lesnar. And so this is a match that I've always been interested in. I think they've had a few good they've had more than a few good matches over the years, but this was not one of them. We did not need to see kind of a rehash of their SummerSlam 2014 match. It did beg the question, who is this for? I get that Cena is kind of doing the job, so to speak, on the way out, but I didn't know who this is for. And it went too long, but also not long enough. It's one of those weird ones where it needed more time, but there needed to be more content in that time, and the only content they were ever going to do was more F5s. So I don't know whether I hated it as much as Cena vs Cody at WrestleMania, but I think it also has to live in that F tier. It just wasn't a good match. It just was not a good match at all. We then go to a very, very exciting one, a match that one of the only ones that really didn't need a kind of feud to happen to have it happen. That was John Cena against AJ Styles. This was perfection. This was really, really bloody good. And it was that touching moment before the match, actually, when Cena made the ring announcer read out AJ Styles' kind of shtick. It was a fantastic match. And AJ, I think he's got lots more of these in him. But I do understand he too wants to kind of go out while he can still do this. And look, I don't think it was as good as Logan against Cena. It kind of hit the feels a lot. But I think looking at the in-ring work, I think this Logan Paul match was better. Do I put in S as well? S is looking a bit lonely, isn't it? It's only got one match in it. Yeah, come on. For nostalgia and for the fact the crowd ate this up. I'm going to also have this one join the S tier. We then get to his trio of matches against Dominic Mysterio, one of them obviously being a tag team match. Now, I must say the first one was really, really good. I felt that it was cool seeing Cena fight for the IC title and get that run with it. I think that was very important. You know, by the end of the run, I did feel like WWE were kind of ticking a lot of the right boxes. They were like, okay, we need to get this in for the fans, doing a lot of fan service, you know. And, yeah, don't get me wrong, like, it maybe was just done as a kind of way of, like, going, oh, we need to do, we want to, you know, we want to just do it to say we've done it kind of thing. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. And it was probably one of Raw's best matches this year. I'm not going to have it join the S tier because it was a TV match after all, and it wasn't as good a match, obviously, before it got disqualified as Sami against Cena. But I am going to put it in A tier because I think that title win, it really, really kind of helped a lot. So I'm going to put it in A tier. We then get the 6-man tag match where Cena teamed with Rey Mysterio and Sheamus take on the Judgment Day, and including his final ever AA on television against JD McDonough. Now, I thought this was a solid 6-man tag. You know, it kind of felt very much like something they would have done like on a house show. Remember those? Back in the day, where it was just like a fun 6-man tag. You know, it wasn't the best in between the ropes, but it didn't need to be. It was John Cena's final ever television match, and final ever match on Monday Night Raw. And I think it was a really good way to go out. But because it was a 6-man tag and he wasn't in it for much, you know, I'm going to put it in B. It means it's good, but I'm going to put it in B. We then get to Survivor Series, where he takes on Dominic Mysterio in a rematch for the IC title, and there was interference from the other Judgment Day members. And I think it was great that Cena allegedly pushed for this backstage for them to get involved and them to get moments against him. And I thought that was cool. It also saw the return of Liv Morgan, who obviously is going to be a big factor and a big player in the Judgment Day and on Raw in particular going forward. So it did feel like a bigger affair than their first match. But the stuff in between the ropes wasn't as good, I'll be honest. So I'm also going to have this join the B tier. So now that means there's one more. And you know what? I'm going to leave it on a cliffhanger because I think this one needs a lot more dissection before we add it to our tier list. And that's, of course, the final match against Gunther at Saturday night's main event. So, tell you what, guys, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. And I will dissect the Gunther and John Cena match in a separate video coming very soon to this channel. Now, get out of here before I have to put you in the STFU.
He's Chris Masters, John Cena now, it's the STF! It's an STF! John Cena just locked in an STF! Chris Masters can't believe it!
I think the match